The heart of Iwuro. Once upon a time, in the vibrant village of Iwuro, where the sun cast a golden hue over the clay huts and painted murals, lived a remarkable soul named Ao. As a child, Ao was known for their laughter, a melodious sound that danced through the air like butterflies flitting from flower to flower. Their bright brown eyes sparkled with curiosity, revealing a heart full of compassion. However, Ao was different, an embodiment of duality, possessing both male and female private parts. The elders often spoke of Ao with a mixture of reverence and curiosity. Mama Nondi, the village matriarch, would say in her wise, soothing voice, "Ao is a bridge between worlds. They see life differently, they are our truth-tellers." Though words of admiration surrounded Ao, they often felt a deep-seated struggle within, a longing for belonging in a society that prized conformity. One warm afternoon, as laughter erupted from the children playing by the river, Ao sat beneath the great baobab tree, the village's heart, reflecting on the complexities of their identity. Tund, Ao's childhood companion and the village's jester, bounded over, his curly hair bouncing with each step. "What troubles you today, my dear friend?" he asked, plopping down beside Ao. "I see the children laughing, but I worry," Ao said, their voice tinged with uncertainty. "What if the day comes when they see my differences not as a gift, but as a burden?" Tund chuckled, playfully rolling a pebble between his fingers. "You are Ao. You possess the wisdom of two worlds. Besides, I'd trade all my jokes to understand the heart of a butterfly. You should embrace your gift instead of worrying about others." Ao smiled softly but appeared unconvinced. "It's not so simple, Tund. I fear that one day, they may not accept me." A hush fell over them as Mama Nondi approached, her strong presence a comforting force. "Ao, my dear," she began, her voice smooth like the breeze. "You are unique for a reason. The world needs different perspectives. The journey ahead will reveal your true purpose." Murmurs of discontent began to ripple through the village as the days turned into weeks and the sun shone brighter. The season had turned dry, and whispers of a drought were becoming louder. Vegetables shriveled in the fields, and the once bubbling river began to dwindle. In the distance, a sense of worry loomed over Iwuro like an ominous cloud. Gathered around the village square, the villagers were frantic, faces filled with despair as they debated over dwindling resources. "We must protect what we have," shouted one man, anger stirring among them. "We cannot be generous when our wells run dry." Mama Nondi raised her hand, calling for silence. "Fear will only lead to division. We must come together, share what we have, and seek solutions." But the tension in the air was palpable. Ao observed in silence, their heart aching for unity amidst chaos. As night descended, a shimmer of starlight cut through the shadows, illuminating the baobab tree, a beacon of hope. That night, Ao approached Mama Nondi, who was busy preparing herbal remedies for the villagers. "What if the drought drives us apart? We need the well of harmony. It can restore our balance," Ao said, desperation woven into their words. Mama Nondi placed a gentle hand on Ao's shoulder. "Finding the well of harmony is no easy task. It requires courage, the courage to confront your own heart and embrace both sides of yourself." Ao felt a stirring within, ignited by the idea that they could take action. "If no one else believes in me, I'll journey to the well of harmony myself," they declared. Mama Nondi nodded, understanding the weight of Ao's decision. "You will face trials, but remember, the journey leads not only to healing but through self-discovery. Trust in your heart, and you shall find what you seek." As dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Ao gathered their belongings. A small pouch of herbs, a carved wooden figure from Mama Nondi, and a figurine that represented balance. Tund appeared behind them, his spirited demeanor unyielding. "You thought you could leave without me, didn't you? I won't let you face this alone." With resolve and newfound purpose, Ao smiled at their friend. "Let's seek the well of harmony together." Thus began their journey, a quest not just for water, but for an understanding of self, a reconciliation of duality, and the hope of restoring harmony to Iwuro. Little did they know, the road ahead would be one filled with lessons, heart, and a transformation far beyond what they ever anticipated. Whispers of the forest. The sun bathed the village of Iwuro in golden light, casting long shadows as Ao and Tund embarked on their journey towards the mythic well of harmony. The moment they stepped beyond the village's confines, the familiar sights and sounds faded away, replaced by the symphony of nature's whispers. The air felt different here, thicker, as if imbued with secrets waiting to be unearthed. As they walked deeper into the enchanted forest, the cacophony of animal calls and rustling leaves surrounded them in a vibrant embrace. Tall trees towered above like sentinels, their roots intertwining in a dance that had persisted for centuries. Sunlight streamed through the canopy, creating dappled patterns that flickered like memories upon the forest floor. "Are you sure we're heading the right way?" Tund asked, adjusting the colorful cloth around his waist. His voice held a blend of excitement and uncertainty. "This place is a bit hidden." With a determined gaze, Ao replied, "The Well of Harmony is said to reveal itself to those who seek it with an open heart. We must trust the journey." As they ventured deeper, a sudden rustle broke the tranquil ambience. A small tortoise appeared, peeking curiously from behind a bush. With a wise glimmer in its eyes, it ambled towards them, its shell decorated with intricate patterns like a mosaic of stories. "Ah, travelers of the forest, what brings you here?" the tortoise asked in a slow, melodic voice. Its presence exuded an ancient wisdom that resonated with Ao. "We seek the Well of Harmony," Ao said earnestly. "Our village needs healing, and we believe that the well can restore balance." The tortoise nodded slowly, as if weighing their words. "Many come seeking the well, but few understand its true essence. To find it, you must first embrace not only your strength but your vulnerabilities. Look within yourselves, and listen closely to the forest's whispers." Tund exchanged a glance with Ao, a spark of confusion flickering. "How do we do that?" he queried. The tortoise motioned toward a dense grove ahead, sunlight filtering through the leaves. "The forest will guide you. Trust your instincts. But beware, what you seek is often shrouded in your own fears." With those enigmatic words echoing in their minds, Ao and Tund continued along the winding path. As they proceeded, the air thinned, and the atmosphere thickened with a creeping tension. The shadows seemed to dance around them, and for a moment, doubt slipped into Ao's heart. "What if we aren't strong enough?" Ao's voice, barely above a whisper, echoed the weight of their insecurities. "What if embracing my identity means facing parts I've always hidden?" Tund paused, placing a reassuring hand on Ao's shoulder. "You are not alone, Ao. We've shared laughter and tears since childhood. It's okay to be vulnerable with me, and it's okay to explore the parts of yourself that feel daunting." Ao took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of Tund's support wash over them. "Thank you, Tund. I suppose we also have to listen to our fears, instead of running from them. Maybe they will lead us to the well after all." The tortoise's wisdom resonated as they dove deeper into the woods. The trees eventually parted, revealing a small clearing filled with enchanting flowers that glowed softly in the fading light. These abundant blooms swayed gently, as though whispering secrets in a language only they could comprehend. "Look at those!" Tund exclaimed, his eyes shimmering with excitement. "They're beautiful." As they approached, Ao noticed something extraordinary. Each flower emanated a soft hum, harmonizing with the rhythm of their heartbeats. A sense of serenity enveloped the clearing, offering a safe space to pause and reflect. "This place feels special," Ao murmured, a wave of tranquility washing over them. "Perhaps we should listen." Sitting cross-legged among the luminous flowers, they closed their eyes, allowing the gentle hums to resonate within. Ao's thoughts drifted, unearthing memories buried under layers of self-doubt. They recalled moments when their differences had felt like burdens, heavy stones against their heart. But then, moments of joy surfaced, the laughter shared with Tund, the wise tales from Mama Nondi, the beauty of being a bridge between two worlds. As they opened their eyes, Ao felt a warmth igniting within them. "I want to embrace all of me," they said, determination clear in their voice. "The fears, the joys, everything." Tund grinned, the tension of the journey easing. "That's the spirit. Together, we'll face whatever comes next." Just as newfound courage blossomed, a rustling sound disrupted their moment of peace. A shadow flitted through the trees, and in an instant, a magnificent eagle landed gracefully upon a nearby branch, her feathers radiant against the encroaching dusk. "I am Zuri, guardian of these woods," the eagle proclaimed, her amber eyes penetratingly wise. "You seek the Well of Harmony, but before you find it, you must understand your own hearts. Are you prepared to confront what lies within? Intrigued yet apprehensive, Ao and Tund shared a knowing glance. Together, they nodded to Mzuri, ready to embrace what awaited them in this enchanted realm. Little did they know that the trials ahead would test their resolve, revealing the true strength that lay in their diversity and friendship. The Eagle's Challenge. With wings spread wide, Mzuri perched regally on the branch, her gaze fixed intently on Ao and Tund. The flickering twilight cast a magical glow around her silhouette, illuminating the talons that gripped the wood with strength and resolve. You seek the well of harmony, Mzuri repeated, her voice echoing like a distant wind. But you must prove that you can harmonize not just with each other, but within yourselves. You must face your fears and unravel the weight of your identities. What do you mean? Ao questioned, curiosity mingling with trepidation. How can we unravel our identities? Doesn't that mean losing ourselves? Mzuri tilted her head, feathers rustling softly in the gentle breeze. Fear not, this will not be a loss. It is a revealing. Deep within every heart lies a duality, a balance waiting to be discovered. Embrace your differences, and you will uncover a strength you did not know you possessed. Tund stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with determination. We are ready, Mzuri. Whatever the challenge, we'll face it together. Very well, Mzuri replied, her voice solemn yet encouraging. Your first challenge is to seek a truth held in each of your greatest emotions, fear and joy. One of you must confront a fear that binds you, the other must unearth a true joy that uplifts you. Only then can you begin to understand the harmony that awaits. The words hung in the air like the last glow of sunset, and Ao's heart raced. What if we fail? They whispered, vulnerability creeping back in. What if the fears consume us? Only by confronting them can you transcend them, Mzuri advised. You will each venture into the woods and find a spot that resonates with your heart. Listen to your inner voice, it will guide you to what you seek. Return to me with the truth you have discovered. As Mzuri took flight, Ao looked at Tund, the weight of the challenge palpable in the air. I don't know if I can face my fears, Ao confessed, their voice wavering. Tund smiled reassuringly. I believe in you, Ao. Just remember, facing fear doesn't mean you have to do it alone. I'll be right here, finding my own truth. We'll meet again soon. Tund ventured toward the left, while Ao took a deep breath and walked right, feeling the energy of the forest pulse beneath their feet. Shadows stretched ominously, and an unsettling chill wrapped around Ao as they moved deeper into the growth. The air felt heavy, a stark contrast to the previously soothing ambience. As Ao wandered, thoughts crowded their mind. What were they afraid of? Along the winding path of their life, fear had manifested in various forms, often expressed by self-doubt, the feeling of not belonging. Ao hesitated, pausing to lean against an ancient tree, its bark rough and gnarled. A deep, resonant voice echoed within, an inner conversation unfurling. What are you afraid of? I fear rejection, Ao admitted softly, recalling the looks of confusion they had sometimes received from villagers. I fear that I will never be seen as enough, will always be an outsider in my own home. With each word, the surrounding forest began to respond, transforming shadows into glimmers of light. The rustling leaves turned into whispers of understanding, guiding Ao deeper into the woods. Compelled by an unspoken force, they followed the gentle trail toward a clearing, the heart racing in synchrony with the pulse of the earth. In the center of the clearing stood an old hollow log, adorned with radiant flowers. They bloomed with colors unseen, vibrant purple and surreal blue, inviting Ao closer. A curious sensation washed over them, an overwhelming joy that pulsed like a heartbeat. Examining the log, Ao noticed their reflection in the smooth, polished surface. What brings me joy? They contemplated. Memories surfaced, the laughter shared with Tund, the stories Mama Nondi had spun, the warmth of the sun on their skin. It was the beauty of community and connection. As the essence of joy enveloped Ao, a realization dawned. Joy blossomed not from fitting into molds, but from being a part of something greater. A tapestry woven with the threads of shared experiences. With newfound courage, Ao stood tall, ready to confront their fear. I am not just one thing, I am a blend, a bridge, a song with many notes, they declared to the forest, listening intently as the gentle breeze replied with harmonious frequencies. Meanwhile, Tund navigated the left path, his heart pounding with the beat of anticipation. He stepped into a shadowy thicket, the playful ambience shifting into an unsettling stillness that made him uneasy. He had never been afraid of the dark, but as he ventured deeper, a gnawing sensation gripped his chest. "What's wrong with you?" Tund asked himself, kicking a stone out of frustration. "It's just darkness, it can't hurt you." But the tightness in his chest instinctively tethered him to a memory. A time when he had stood on a stage in front of the village, heart racing, eyes wide with fear of judgment. The laughter that once seemed empowering had turned into a mockery that haunted him. The weight of expectations pressed against him. Would people laugh in support or ridicule? What if Tund wasn't the beloved jester, but rather a disappointment? As these thoughts spiraled, he felt paralyzed. The shadows loomed closer, causing his fears to swell until they became an overwhelming presence. Tund hesitated, his thoughts a whirlwind, but he heard a distant calling, Ao's voice dancing on the very air. "You are worthy of joy, Tund. Embrace it." Echoes of laughter. Laughter from a young boy who dared to be vulnerable, laughter shared with Ao, and the laughter of the village enveloped him, wrapping around his heart like a warm embrace. This laughter flowed into Tund like sunlight breaking through clouds, illuminating his fear. "I have brought joy to many. Why should I let fear conquer me now?" He took a deep breath, standing firm in the bright clearing once more. Tund sought solace in the memory of his comedic successes, the moments when he had lightened hearts and turned frowns into smiles. "My joy radiates from within," he declared, the shadows receding as he embraced the essence of who he was, a vessel of laughter and connection. Empowered, Tund stepped out from the darkness, ready to reunite with Ao, both having faced their fears and embracing the joys that defined them. The forest echoed with sounds of affirmation, the magic surrounding them shimmering brightly. Back at the base of the magnificent tree where they had left Mzuri, the eagle awaited with a knowing gaze. A feeling of anticipation enveloped Ao and Tund as they approached together, the truth of their hearts ready to be unveiled. Their journey into the depths of self-discovery had only just begun, and the harmony awaited. Unveiling the truth. Under the expansive canopy of the ancient baobab tree, Ao and Tund stood side by side, their hearts racing with lingering excitement and the sweetness of overcoming fear. The forest breathed around them, and the atmosphere buzzed with a palpable energy. Mzuri, the eagle, soared through the air before descending gracefully, her majestic wings folding as she settled on a branch above them. "Welcome back, brave travelers," Mzuri greeted, her eyes gleaming like polished gold. "Have you faced your truths?" Ao and Tund exchanged glances, their expressions revealing an unspoken understanding. "We have," Ao responded first, the words spilling forth like a wellspring of stories. "I embraced my fears of rejection, acknowledging that my uniqueness is not a burden. It's a strength, a bridge between worlds." "Beautifully articulated," Mzuri replied, a hint of approval in her voice. "And you, Tund?" "I faced the shadows of my fear," Tund shared, his excitement bubbling. "I realized joy is my essence. It radiates from my heart. I don't need to conform to anyone's expectations to bring laughter to others." "Excellent," Mzuri exclaimed, her wings flaring slightly with enthusiasm. "You have both taken significant steps toward self-discovery. These truths are crucial in unearthing harmony." "But what's next?" Ao asked, a flicker of uncertainty resurfacing. "How do we find the well of harmony?" "Your next challenge is to offer a piece of your truth back to the forest," Mzuri instructed. "In doing so, you will unlock the path forward. Each truth you share will resonate, spreading love and acceptance through the woods, revealing the way to the well." Tund's brow furrowed as he pondered their task. "So we must give something of ourselves?" "Precisely." Mzuri's eyes twinkled with wisdom. "You must let go of something, a sentiment that binds you, to open the door to further growth." "You mean, like letting go of doubt?" Ao suggested, feeling the weight of the challenge. "Letting go of doubt, and embracing who you are exactly." Mzuri nodded. "Only then will the well of harmony be unveiled." In that moment of understanding, something deep inside Ao shifted. They felt a surge of power coursing through their veins, bolstered by the energy of the forest. "I want to share my truth with the woods," Ao said, stepping forward. "I want to express love, acceptance, and my unwavering spirit." Tund followed suit. "And I want to share joy, My laughter is meant to uplift, not be stifled by fear. I will bring happiness to this place." With Mzuri observing closely, they closed their eyes, tuning into the vibrations around them. As silence enveloped them, they listened to the whispers of the forest, each leaf, each breath of wind offering guidance. In a moment of stillness, Ao felt clarity wash over them like a soothing balm. "To the winds, I send my acceptance and love for all. To all those different from me, to all who fear judgment," they declared, arms wide as if embracing the world. "May our differences connect us rather than divide us." The moment Ao finished, vibrant colors erupted around them, the energy of acceptance radiating through the forest like a beacon of light. Flowers swayed to an unseen rhythm, and a soft light unfurled like petals, illuminating the surroundings. Tund inhaled deeply, feeling the warmth enveloping him. "And to the world I send my joy," he proclaimed, exuberance spilling forth. "May laughter break down walls and bring smiles to the faces of all who wander these paths. May we find strength in the happiness we share." As his words rose into the air, an echo of joyous laughter bounced around the trees, illuminating the dark corners with glimmers of light. The shadows that once loomed heavy began to dissipate, unveiling the path ahead. A sudden roar of winds danced through the branches, and Ao felt an exhilarating surge, a connection with every creature in the forest. As their words intertwined with the essence of nature, the ground beneath them shimmered, revealing a trail flanked by sparkling flora and glimmering stones that pulsed with life. Mzuri spread her wings wide, her voice a melodic whisper. "You have chosen wisely, your truths have awakened the harmony within this forest. Now follow this path. It will lead to the well of harmony." The path began to unfurl, winding gracefully through the trees, each step guiding them toward their destination. A sense of purpose propelled Ao and Tund forward, the bond between them stronger than ever. Together, they ventured down the path, hand in hand, hearts alight with anticipation. Amidst their exhilaration, shadows danced along the edges. Something lingered, a sense of doubt and unease flitted through Ao's mind. Would they truly find the well? Would their actions reshape not only their lives but the lives of the people they loved? As they continued, Ao turned to Tund and voiced their thoughts. "What if the well doesn't exist? What if we are only chasing shadows?" Tund squeezed Ao's hand reassuringly. "No matter what happens, we have each other, and we've already discovered our truths. We can face anything when we're together." The light from the radiant flowers guiding their path flickered, lighting the balance between their hopes and fears, illuminating the faith they shared in one another. As they walked deeper into the forest, whispers echoed, carrying promises through the rustling leaves. Something wondrous awaited just beyond the horizon, and together, they would discover the beauty of their intertwined destinies. Their journey toward the well of harmony was not just about finding a source of water, but rather embracing the essence of who they truly were. And with each step, Ao and Tund drew closer to an understanding that transcended boundaries. The power of truth acknowledged, joy celebrated, and the harmony that awaited them in the world ahead. The guardian of the well. As Ao and Tund ventured further down the luminescent path, the anticipation of the well of harmony pulsed like a heartbeat, guiding them with an undeniable allure. The forest grew denser, with towering trees brushing against the sky and foliage bursting with vibrant colors. Butterflies flitted about, their wings glistening like fragments of stained glass in the sunlight. "Do you hear that?" Tund asked suddenly, his gaze shifting to the soft murmur that draped over the eager silence. A melodious sound floated through the air, like a distant lullaby woven into the rustle of leaves. Ao paused, their heart quickening as they strained to listen. "It sounds like water, gentle and inviting," they observed, the pitch of excitement rising. Determined, they pressed forward, navigating the winding trail that led them deeper into the embrace of nature. Soon, the path opened into a clearing, revealing a breathtaking sight, a crystalline pool bathed in ethereal light. The water shimmered like liquid silver, reflecting the beauty of the surrounding forest in its crystalline surface. In the center of the pool stood a stone pedestal, intricately carved with swirling designs representing unity and duality. The glistening water flowed gently over the edges, a soft cascade that sang of peace and restoration. Ao and Tund exchanged glances, awe etched across their faces as they stepped closer to the pool. "This must be it," Ao whispered, captivated by the serene beauty before them. Suddenly, a rustling came from behind the stones that bordered the clearing. A tall figure stepped forward, adorned in a cloak of vines and flowers, their features cloaked in shadows. The guardian of the well emerged, a majestic being who radiated wisdom and strength. Who disturbs the sanctity of the well of harmony? The guardian's voice was deep, resonating through the clearing as he regarded the two travelers with keen, penetrating eyes. Ao and Tund, Ao replied, their heart pounding with both reverence and trepidation. We seek the well to restore balance to our village and to discover our true selves. The guardian's expression softened, intertwining curiosity with caution. To seek harmony is a noble pursuit, and you have journeyed far. But tell me, what do you know of the price that comes with such a gift? Tund stepped forward, tension growing in the air. We have faced fears and embraced our truths. We believe that harmony lies in understanding and accepting oneself and others. The guardian nodded slowly. Indeed, you speak well. But harmony is not simply achieved, it must be earned. To access the well, you must demonstrate your understanding of balance by completing a final task. What kind of task? Ao inquired, a mix of curiosity and anxiety bubbling within. With a wave of the guardian's hand, the water in the well calmed, and images began to take shape within the liquid surface. A shimmering vision unfolded, revealing the village of Iwuro struggling under the weight of drought, divided and fearful. This is your village, the guardian intoned gravely. To truly grasp harmony, you must return to Iwuro, offer the lessons you've learned here, and help them confront their fears as you did. Only through this act of selfless sharing can the well be accessed. Ao's heart sank as they realized the weight of the request. But we are not experts, we are just two travelers seeking answers. You possess the truth within you, the guardian replied. Be vulnerable and honest in sharing your journeys, and you will light the path for others. It is in the bravery of sharing that true harmony is found. Tund sighed, understanding flickering in his eyes. We can do this. We can bring hope back to our village. Very well, the guardian whispered, the water swirling as a sense of power emanated from the well. Complete the task with an open heart, and the well will reveal itself to you. Approach the pool and let your truths flow into the water. With resolve, Ao and Tund stepped forward to the edge of the pool, their reflections blending with the glistening surface. In that moment, they grasped hands, united by purpose, two souls ready to share not just their journeys but the essence of who they were. Together, we will bring harmony to our village. Ao declared, emotion resonating in their voice. As they knelt and cupped their hands together, they spoke aloud, pouring their hearts into the waters of the well. To the people of Iwuro, we share our truths. May love conquer fear, and may joy unite us all. The pool shimmered, and ripples danced over the surface, expanding outward like waves of energy. The guardian watched, a knowing smile gracing their lips. Suddenly, the radiant light enveloped the clearing, and a warm breeze swept through, carrying the hopes of two determined travelers. The well's magic intertwined with their hearts, guiding them home towards the village that awaited their return. In that moment, they felt an overwhelming connection to their village, a reassurance that hope flickered even amidst despair. Hand in hand, Ao and Tund rose, ready to embrace their task and transform not just their village's fate, but also their own. The journey had prepared them, and as they turned to leave the magical clearing, they embraced the warmth of unity, knowing that they would emerge as leaders in their community, bridge builders in a world filled with uncertainties. With the echoes of their promise resonating in their hearts, they set off, convinced that wherever their journey led, they would carry the presence of harmony with them, illuminating the path for others to follow. The challenges stirred their spirits, and together, they would face whatever awaited them. Returning with purpose. The path back through the forest felt different now, illuminated by the power of their shared truths. With each step, Ao and Tund were more resolved to bring the light of what they had learned back to Iwuro. As they navigated the familiar trail, the air pulsed with energy and purpose. I can't believe we actually saw the Well of Harmony, Tund said, eyes sparkling with excitement. I just hope the villagers are ready to listen. They will be, Ao reassured him, their voice steady. We've faced our fears, now we must help them confront theirs. We can show them that embracing our differences strengthens our community. The thoughts of their village, the drought, the quarrels, the strained relationships, fueled their motivation. Ao felt a swell of confidence rising within as they neared the village's edge. Upon reaching the outskirts, they found the familiar sights of Iwuro subdued under a blanket of anxiety. The once bustling market lay quiet, the laughter of children replaced by whispers of worry. A palpable tension hung in the air, suffocating any sense of unity. "Look at them," Tund remarked, sadness creeping into his voice. "Everyone seems lost. We need to bring them hope." "Let's go to the great baobab tree," Ao suggested. "It's where we've always come together. It feels like the heart of our community." As they approached, villagers gathered beneath the sprawling branches, faces drawn and eyes haunted by fear. A hush fell over them as Ao and Tund stepped into the clearing. There was no escaping the gaze of the crowd, their worries articulated in the flickering light of the setting sun. "Mama Nondi," Ao called, spotting the village matriarch standing near the tree, her usually warm demeanor dimmed. The elderly woman's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she approached them. "Ao, Tund. You're back." "We were so concerned," Mama Nondi exclaimed, a mix of relief and worry dancing in her tone. "Have you found any way to save our village?" With newfound determination, Ao and Tund exchanged encouraging glances before speaking in unison. "Yes, we have found a way, the Well of Harmony." Gasps of surprise rippled through the crowd, and their faces flickered with a mix of hope and skepticism. "But the well is just a tale," a voice from the crowd interjected, tinged with disbelief. "How can we truly believe it exists?" Tund stepped forward, feeling a surge of affection for his village. "Because we've seen it. We learned that harmony exists when we accept our fears and embrace our truths. We can help each other confront what holds us back." Ao added, "We need to share what we've learned. We must connect with one another as a community if we are to break the chains of fear." Mama Nondi's gaze shifted between the two friends, her expression a blend of pride and concern. "You carry the spirit of the village within you. But how will we embrace this wisdom? Can we truly find harmony amid the drought?" Tund's heart hammered in his chest. "Yes. It starts with us being vulnerable with one another. We have faced our fears, and we can show you how to face yours. We need an open dialogue, a safe space to share our burdens." One by one, the crowd began to murmur among themselves, uncertainty swirling in the air like thick fog. "But what if we're judged?" another voice asked. "How can we risk our hearts when we've been hurt before?" Ao stepped forward, unwavering in their strength. "We will create a circle of trust, a space where all voices matter. Here at this baobab tree, we will share our stories without fear of ridicule. It's time to celebrate our differences and nurture the love that binds us together." After a moment of silence, Mama Nondi placed a hand on Ao's shoulder, a proud smile breaking across her face. "You speak with the wisdom of those who have journeyed far. I support you both. Let us gather here tomorrow to begin this healing." As the villagers nodded hesitantly, the first rays of hope crested the horizon. With determination surging within them, Ao and Tund began to share their own stories, recounting their journey through the enchanted forest, the lessons learned at the Well of Harmony, and how embracing their identities forged a deeper bond. The sun dipped lower, casting a warm glow over the gathering. For the first time in a long while, the people of Iwuro felt a flicker of shared belief spark in their hearts. "How can we heal if we don't know each other's stories?" Ao continued, gathering strength through each word. "Let us lift one another up through laughter, understanding, and acceptance. Together, we can revive our village and quench the drought of despair." Whispers of agreement began to spread throughout the crowd, hearts softening like clay molded by passionate hands. Inspired by Ao and Tund's bravery, others began to share their own thoughts, fears, and hopes, creating an atmosphere buoyed by vulnerability and unity. As darkness enveloped the village and stars twinkled above, Ao and Tund felt the warmth of success swelling within them. They had opened the door to healing, igniting the first flickers of harmony that had long been buried beneath layers of doubt. With the promise of a new beginning echoing in their hearts, Ao and Tund embraced the collective spirit of Iwuro. They were ready to weave together the strands of their community, knowing that the journey ahead would require courage, empathy, and above all love. Stories in the circle. The sun rose over Iwuro, casting golden light upon the village as anticipation hung in the air. The great baobab tree stood tall and proud, ready to witness the collective healing that was about to unfold. Villagers gathered around its expansive trunk, their eyes reflecting a blend of curiosity and apprehension. As Ao and Tund arrived, they felt the weight of the moment settle around them. The villagers lined up to form a circle, encompassing the heart of the community. The atmosphere buzzed with whispered conversations and hesitant glances. "Today, we open our hearts and minds," Ao began, their voice steady and clear. "This is a space where we can share our stories without judgment. Each of us carries a unique journey, and together, we will create a tapestry of connection." Tund stepped forward, sensing the collective energy rising. "Let us honor our fears and our joys. Let's listen fiercely and support one another as we share parts of ourselves." The crowd held its breath as Mama Nondi, the revered elder, took her place in the circle. "I will begin," she said, her voice imbued with wisdom. "I have seen many seasons, but this one weighs heavily upon my heart. As a caretaker of our village, I have always felt the pressure to keep us united. However, I fear that my age makes me less effective, that my time is passing." A hush fell upon the crowd, the vulnerability in her words resonated deeply. Tund exchanged a knowing glance with Ao, understanding that this was the sign needed to spark the flow of stories. "I stand with you, Mama Nondi," a woman from the crowd spoke up. "I, too, have felt lost and ineffective, especially as a mother. My children are growing, and I fear that I am not guiding them correctly. I worry for their future." A faint ripple of agreement traversed the circle. Ao felt a tugging at their heart as various voices began to emerge, recounting fears and concerns of inadequacy, misunderstanding, and the looming threat of drought. With each shared story, the collective weight of despair lightened. Ao found that these moments of truth did not merely seek solace but forged connections among their neighbors. Harsh realities softened under the illumination of empathy, and the murmurings of the community grew louder, shifting from hesitation to encouragement. "I feel the sting of loneliness," a gentle voice broke through the gathering. A middle-aged man stepped forward, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I lost my wife last year, and every day since feels heavier. I fear I will always be alone, and I don't know how to express this pain." Silence enveloped the crowd, and Ao could feel the bond weaving among them, a fragile intricacy of shared grief and quiet resilience. "I think we all fear something," Tund said, his voice rising with a blend of compassion and strength. "But there's also joy in our community. We have so much to celebrate together." "Absolutely," Ao added. "It's essential we remember that joy too exists within us. Let's speak of our happy moments, the laughter and love that knit us together." A chorus of another kind began to emerge, tentative at first, as villagers cautiously shared their joys. A cherished memory of a community feast, a child's laughter, friendships blossoming amidst adversity. Each story, a note in the growing chorus of voices. "I remember last year when we worked together to build the new schoolhouse," said a younger villager, a spark glimmering in her eyes. "The laughter and teamwork made me realize we can overcome anything together." As each story flowed from one heart to another, there was a growing sense of belonging. They embraced their inconsistencies, their struggles, interspersed with moments of joy. A synchronicity in vulnerability led to a reckless joy in togetherness. An energy built among them, solidifying the bond this circle had forged. A wave of warmth filled Ao as they listened to their neighbors speak openly of their fears met with understanding and empathy. They felt buoyed by the realization that this very act of sharing was already a form of healing. They turned to Tund and, amidst the stirring emotions, whispered, "This is what we hoped for, true connection." As evening descended, Mama Nondi stood and raised her arms, inviting silence once more. "Today, we have begun a beautiful process. Each of you has offered parts of your hearts, and through sharing, we've rekindled our unity. We no longer walk alone." The villagers nodded, energized by the shared experience. The weight of isolation that had burdened them began to lift, replaced by a collective sense of purpose and belonging. "Let us plan for our next gathering," Mama Nondi said, her tone resolute. "We will build on this connection, exploring ways to collectively overcome the challenges we face." Together, they formulated plans to cultivate gratitude, to share laughter, and to unite in small acts of kindness towards one another. The energy in the circle heightened as their hearts beat in rhythm, igniting embers of hope. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of orange and purple, Ao watched contentedly. The baobab tree stood resilient, cradling the heart of Iwuro. In that moment, they truly felt the transformative power of sharing stories. A bridge towards healing, towards harmony forged in love, understanding, and acceptance. The seeds of unity had been planted, and as night enveloped the village, Ao and Tund were filled with hope. They knew their journey was far from over, but together, they had set in motion a movement that could change the lives of those around them. Their hearts swelled with the goodness of possibilities yet to come. Ripple effect. Morning light filtered through the gaps in the rich foliage of the great baobab tree, awakening the village of Iwuro to a renewed sense of purpose. Ao and Tund rose early, their hearts light with hope and anticipation. Today marked the day they would put their plans into action, sowing the seeds of kindness throughout the community. As they gathered their belongings, Tund couldn't contain his excitement. "We have so many ideas. I can't wait to see how the villagers respond." His enthusiasm was infectious, and Ao felt it stir within them as well. "The key is to start small," Ao replied, mindful of their shared experience from the previous day. "Today, let's focus on simple acts of kindness and encourage others to join in. If we can create a ripple effect, the love will spread throughout the village." With their resolve firm, they set off toward the village square, a bustling hub of activity, even amid the dry spell. The merchants displayed their wares, colorful fruits, handmade crafts, and fragrant spices. Yet the usual cheer felt subdued. Mama Nondi approached them as they entered the square, her expression a mix of pride and curiosity. "Good morning, my brave ones. Are you ready to begin?" "Yes," Tund exclaimed, his energy bubbling over. "We want to inspire everyone to share small acts of kindness today, to build connections and restore joy in our community." A smile creased Mama Nondi's aged face. "Wonderful. I will gather the few who are willing." Small gestures can indeed create a significant impact. Ao and Tund split off to spread the word, encouraging villagers to participate. They decided to start with an offering of freshly baked bread from Tund's family as a simple act of kindness, something that would spark interest and engagement. Together, they approached a few villagers who were huddled near the market stall. "Good morning," Ao greeted enthusiastically. "We'd like to invite you to join us today in celebrating kindness. We're sharing fresh bread and asking for everyone to contribute small acts of kindness for one another." "How will we do that?" asked a skeptical-looking woman, crossing her arms. "It's all well and good, but we're struggling to gather enough to eat. Why would we share what little we have?" "We're not asking for your whole meal," Tund interjected gently. "Just a moment of your time or a helping hand. Imagine how a simple smile or a compliment could brighten someone's day. Together, we have the power to uplift each other. Wouldn't you partake in something that could help us all feel better?" The woman considered Tund's words, glancing at her neighbors, who were now listening intently. One elderly man scratched his beard thoughtfully. "Perhaps you're right. Nothing is more nourishing for the spirit than kindness." Little by little, villagers began to engage. Laughter chimed softly throughout the square as Ao and Tund encouraged people to share ideas. It wasn't long before the smell of freshly baked bread wafted through the air, drawing attention to the new initiative. As more individuals participated, old friendships revived, and new ones blossomed. One sandy-haired boy offered to teach others how to braid palm fronds to create baskets, while the village seamstress vowed to stitch small pouches for the children. Ao and Tund could hardly believe their eyes as the feeling of camaraderie transformed the market. Words of gratitude and appreciation flowed freely, and a sense of warmth enveloped the square. "I think it's working," Tund exclaimed, glancing at Ao, who felt their hearts soar. "What a beautiful ripple effect." Ao nodded, overwhelmed with emotion. "We just needed to take the first steps, to show people the power of connection. When we unite through simple acts, we cultivate joy." As the day progressed, the energy shifted from a sense of scarcity to one of abundance, a true celebration of community spirit. By afternoon, people started filling the courtyard near the baobab. It was time for the central gathering. Curiosity and excitement buzzed. Villagers formed an impromptu circle to share the acts of kindness they had witnessed or received. Word of Tund's bread had spread, and as they stood in the shadow of the great tree, more people began to speak up. I received advice on how to plant vegetables, one young woman exclaimed. It brought me hope that I can feed my family. I found a lost goat, another old man declared, his laughter infectious. A child helped me find it, and we celebrated together. With each story shared, the connection in the circle deepened. Ao felt a swell of pride as villagers expressed gratitude for one another and the budding friendships that had emerged. The warm glow of unity enveloped Iwuro, weaving together threads of collective strength. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the gathering, Mama Nondi raised a hand for attention. Let us always remember this day. Together, we have woven a tapestry of kindness, but it is just the beginning. Her fervent spirit echoed through the crowd. Imagine how beautiful our village will become when we continue to nurture these connections. A wave of applause erupted, reverberating through the circle of villagers. Ao and Tund beamed with joy, witnessing the transformation breathing life back into Iwuro. Their dreams of harmony, cultivated through their journey, were being born right before their eyes. And as the stars began to twinkle overhead, they realized the ripple of kindness had become a wave, and the tides were turning for their beloved village. In that moment, Ao looked at Tund and whispered, "We did this together. This is the essence of our journey." Tund nodded, tears of happiness glistening in his eyes. And there's more to come. With anticipation curling in their hearts, they felt the magic of unity settle around them like a protective cloak, a promise of shared endeavors yet to flourish within Iwuro. Winds of change. The days that followed the gathering under the baobab tree were filled with an invigorating energy that swept through Iwuro like a gentle breeze. The spirit of kindness that Ao and Tund had ignited continued to blossom, weaving a bond that reassured the villagers in the face of the lingering drought. The shared stories and simple acts of compassion began to redefine the dynamics of the community, drawing everyone closer together. One sunny morning, Ao and Tund sat in the great square, observing the newfound connections swelling around them. Children giggled and played, their laughter harmonizing with the conversations flowing between neighbors. It was as if the very air buzzed with hope. "I can hardly believe how far we've come," Ao said, their smile reflecting the warm sunlight. "It feels like a dream, seeing everyone connect." Tund nodded, a glint of pride lighting up his eyes. "We should keep the momentum going. What if we organized a village project? Something to channel this kindness into concrete action." "That's a wonderful idea. A communal project could strengthen our bonds even more." Ao's heart raced at the prospect. "We could build a community garden, a place where we can grow vegetables together. It will also serve as a symbol for our unity." Tund jumped up with enthusiasm. "Let's propose it to Mama Nondi and the others this evening. We can gather everyone again under the baobab and discuss our idea." The duo spent the rest of the day gathering materials, brainstorming ideas, and captivating the attention of villagers eager to join in. When evening fell, they returned to the baobab tree, heartened by the prospects of a promising project. As night enveloped the village, the sky sparkled with stars and a plethora of twinkling lanterns danced above the gathering, welcoming villagers to the discussion. Ao and Tund stood before the crowd, their excitement palpable as they shared their vision for the community garden. "We've witnessed a remarkable change in our village, and together, we can create something lasting," Ao began. "A garden will not only provide food but will also be a space for connections, a living testament to our resilience and collaboration." Tund continued, "We can teach one another how to plant and nurture crops. This will alleviate some of our struggles during the drought and help us learn from each other as we work side by side." The villagers murmured excitedly, nodding their heads in agreement. Mama Nondi stepped forward, her wise face beaming with pride. "This is an extraordinary idea. A community garden will indeed flourish as a symbol of our unity and perseverance. But we must be strategic about how we create it." "That's a fair point," Ao acknowledged. "Let's form a small committee of volunteers to help plan and cultivate the garden together. We can identify suitable crops and designate areas for planting while ensuring everyone can contribute." After some dialogue, several villagers stepped up to volunteer, excited by the prospect of working together toward a common goal. The atmosphere was electrifying, filling the air with vibrations of enthusiasm and purpose, a warmth that overshadowed the lingering worries of the drought. As discussions flowed and enthusiasm grew, someone raised a concern. But what about the water? We've been struggling to keep our crops alive with the dry spell. Tund replied confidently, "We will implement a well-organized watering system. Everyone can take turns managing the watering schedule. We can even explore rainwater harvesting techniques to help gather what little is available." "Exactly. We can create a sustainable system," Ao added. "If we work together, we can turn this challenge into an opportunity to learn more about agriculture and the environment, ultimately planting wisdom alongside our crops." With renewed purpose, the villagers finalized their plans for the community garden. Ideas flowed freely, smiles flickered, and laughter reverberated. The village felt alive again, alive with hope, unity, and vision. As the evening wore on, Ao and Tund exchanged glances, their hearts swelling with pride. They had witnessed their village embrace the winds of change, setting an example of resilience in the face of adversity. As villagers began to disperse, Mama Nondi approached the two friends. "You have done remarkable work in inspiring this community. The garden will flourish under your guidance. Know that your courage has ignited a flame within us all." "Thank you, Mama Nondi," Ao said, gratitude rich in their tone. "We're just doing our part to help our community thrive." Tund added enthusiastically, "And we'll continue working together. We're ready to face any challenge that comes our way." As they prepared to take the next steps in their project, the stars twinkled above in congratulations. The journey ahead would be filled with growth, both within the garden and among the villagers, reinforcing the lessons they had learned along their path. Little did Ao and Tund know, however, that challenges awaited them. While the villagers had embraced the newfound promises, the drought's grip was still looming. A reminder that resilience tested was resilience strengthened. Together, they would rise to ensure their dreams blossomed in the community garden, even as they faced the unknown hurdles on the horizon. The seeds of hope had been sown. Now, it was time to nurture them with determination, love, and unity. Planting seeds of resilience. The excitement of the community garden project spread like wildfire throughout Iwuro, energizing every villager. As the sun broke over the horizon the next day, Ao and Tund rose earlier than usual, enthusiastic about the day ahead. They were determined to turn their dreams into reality. Gathering at the baobab tree, the volunteers, spanning all ages, came together, ready to embark on this shared journey. Ao stood on a small stone, addressing the group, their voice ringing clear against the crisp morning air. "Welcome, everyone. Today marks a new beginning for our village. This garden will symbolize our unity and resilience. Working together, we will not only cultivate crops but also deepen our bonds and learn from one another." Applause erupted from the group, filling them with warmth. Tund held a map he had drawn of the proposed garden layout. "We'll begin by preparing the soil," he announced as excitement swept through the crowd. "We need to ensure it's ready for planting. We'll split into teams to work on different sections." With laughter and chatter echoing through the square, villagers eagerly paired up as they prepared for their first task. Under Tund's guidance, they began to hoe, turn soil, and remove weeds, transforming the earth into a fertile canvas for growth. Children scampered about, carrying small buckets of water and shouting encouragement to their parents. As they toiled together, stories flowed, a casual bonding of hearts in shared labor. An elderly woman named Mama Zuri, renowned for her wisdom in farming, shared tips on companion planting, how certain crops thrived when planted together. Eager villagers hung onto her every word, gathering insights that would benefit their garden. "What will we plant then?" a young boy asked, his hands covered in dirt from the preparations. Ao chimed in excitedly, "We'll start with beans and tomatoes. They're resilient crops. And later, we can add herbs like basil and mint. These will not only nourish us but could also help with our cooking. Any suggestions?" Another villager raised her hand, her eyes sparkling. "Pumpkins. They grow quickly and can feed us, plus we can use their seeds to grow more next season." "Excellent suggestion," Tund exclaimed, grateful for the enthusiasm. "Let's jot that down." As they continued working, laughter and music filled the atmosphere. They shared techniques and stories, building relationships through sweat and effort. Slowly, the landscape transformed into a patchwork of hope and hard work, breathing life back into the village that had so recently felt stifled. Hours passed, and as the sun began to dip, casting warm hues across the sky, Ao felt a sense of fulfillment wash over them. The volunteers paused to admire their progress. Rows of freshly turned soil revealed where seeds would soon be sown. In that moment, a familiar figure approached, Mama Nondi. Her presence commanded respect, and as the villagers gathered around her, they felt the comfort of her wisdom. Well done, everyone. Today, you have not just prepared the earth, but you have also sown seeds of resilience in our community, she proclaimed, her voice warm and soothing. Resilience comes not only from the strength we show in the face of adversity, but also from our ability to nurture one another as we grow. Ao stepped forward, feeling the warmth of gratitude swell within them. Thank you, Mama Nondi. This garden is a representation of our unity and strength. We have all contributed today. Let this be a reminder that together, we can overcome any challenge. As the light waned and the stars began to twinkle above, they sang songs of joy and gratitude, aware of the precious bonds they were forming under the vastness of the universe. Soon, laughter faded into soft conversations of dreams and hopes, as the villagers settled down near the baobab tree for a communal meal. The simplicity of sharing food, the fruits of their labor, created a profound connection, weaving the fabric of their community tighter. Yet, as they feasted in the distance, dark clouds began to gather, swirling ominously across the sky, a forewarning of the struggles yet to come. Look at those clouds, Tund whispered to Ao, concern etched on his features. I fear the storm may bring more than just rain. Ao nodded, feeling the weight of uncertainty press upon them. While we've poured our hearts into the garden, we cannot control the weather. But as they sat together, surrounded by laughter and warmth, Ao also felt a glimmer of hope. Resilience was born not just in the soil but in the spirit of the villagers. No matter the storm that approached, they would face it together. For together, they had tapped into something far greater, the power of unity, love, and the determination to rise, no matter what challenges lay on the horizon. Within that spirit lay their greatest strength, and within their hearts blossomed a confidence that would see them through whatever winds of change may come. The gathering storm. As the night deepened, a chill crept over Iwuro, and the wind picked up, whipping through the trees. Ao, Tund, and the villagers had barely finished their meal when ominous clouds began to thicken overhead, casting a shadow across their gathering beneath the great baobab. The once clear starry sky now seemed to shimmer with foreboding. Stay calm, everyone, Mama Nondi encouraged, though her brow furrowed with concern. The storm may provide some rain that we desperately need. But what if it's more than we can handle? Tund pondered aloud, shifting uncomfortably. The drought has already taken so much from us. What if the storm damages the garden we just planted? Ao stood, their heart racing. We must prepare for the worst. If we protect our new garden, we can salvage whatever rain we receive. We can't allow fear to diminish the hope we've worked so hard to build. The villagers nodded, their determination rekindled. A sense of unity washed over the crowd once more as they regrouped under the baobab, scrambling to secure loose items and gather materials for protection. Let's use the palm fronds to create makeshift barriers around the garden, suggested one of the villagers, rising with purpose. And we can dig trenches to divert excess water if the storm becomes too heavy. Tund rallied the children nearby, assigning them small tasks. You all can help gather stones and branches. We need every helping hand. As the villagers worked feverishly amidst rising winds and darkening skies, a palpable sense of urgency gripped the air. Each person contributed to fortify their precious garden, where hope had just begun to blossom. Mama Nondi bustled about, guiding and comforting those in distress. Remember, in nature, storms often bring cleansing and renewal. We have come together as a community, and we will weather this together too. Ao felt a mix of anxiety and determination as they grabbed a nearby shovel. Let's not forget, we have faced challenges before. We have each other to lean on. As every villager dug and constructed barricades, laughter mingled once more with words of encouragement. The spirit of cooperation resonated through the air, weaving a sense of resilience. The clouds rumbled ominously, but no one seemed daunted by their fury, only fueled by their dedication to protect their garden. Suddenly, a blinding flash lit up the sky, followed by a loud crack of thunder that made even the hardiest among them flinch. Rain began to pour, first gently, then more forcefully, as drops lashed against their bodies, soaking them quickly. We need to hurry, yelled Tund, his voice strained over the rising wind. "Stay focused and keep working. Form a line," Ao shouted, pointing toward the makeshift barriers they had created to protect the garden. "We'll pass the sandbags and palm fronds to one another." As the storm intensified, the wind howled like a feral creature. The garden was suddenly filled with chaos, but the villagers worked in a synchronized way, eyes darting back and forth as they passed materials hand to hand. They sang songs of perseverance, drowning out the thunder and embracing the storm's energy. When the rain arrived in torrents, it cascaded around them in waves. Slimy mud began to form underfoot, and the noise of the storm engulfed them completely. Their hearts pounded in the midst of the chaos, but Ao could feel the connection of souls becoming more intense, a collective heartbeat echoing in unison. As the rain fell heavier, water pooled around their feet, and the garden began to bear the brunt of the storm. A volley of wind roared through, threatening their newfound bond, testing their resolve. Ao thought of the seeds they had planted and the promise they had made to support each other. "Mama Nondi," Ao shouted as the storm raged around them. "We must protect the heart of our community." With renewed vigor, Mamana Nondi rallied the villagers. "Stay close to one another. We will not falter in the face of nature's fury. Remember, we are all strong when we stand united." They formed a line, their bodies acting as shields against the wind and rain, holding steady in protective solidarity around the young plants. Ao could feel fatigue settling but pushed onward, bolstered by the courage of their neighbors. As lightning illuminated the night, casting shadows that danced wildly, Ao caught glimpses of the expressions around them: determination, fear, hope, and faith intermingling in an exquisite tapestry woven by the storm. The harrowing battle with the storm continued, and as the night progressed, Ao realized this moment mirrored their entire journey: the struggle, the bond, the hope in renewal. It was in navigating the storm together that they discovered their true resilience. Would they emerge on the other side, battered yet unbroken? Only time would tell. But they stood together amidst the tempest, their spirits fighting the winds of doubt, knowing that after the storm, new growth would surely come. A new dawn. As dawn broke over Iwuro, a thick fog hung low over the village, the remnants of last night's storm lingering like a bittersweet memory. The sun, timid at first, slowly began to rise, casting a gentle golden light that pierced through the haze. Ao blinked against the brightness, awakening to a world transformed. The garden lay before them, a testament to their struggle and resilience. Through the early morning mist, they could see the protective barriers, though slightly battered, remained intact. The newly planted seeds nestled in the soil appeared to be safe, yet the heavy rains had washed away some of the earth, revealing the possibility of renewed growth amidst upheaval. Ao slowly stood, feeling the weight of exhaustion in their bones, but also a flicker of hope igniting within. Tund had remained close by, his eyes wide with disbelief as he took in the scene. "Mama Nondi," Tund called, the urgency of yesterday still echoing in his voice. "We need to check the garden." They moved toward the patch they had protected throughout the night, a mixture of trepidation and anticipation coursing through them. The villagers slowly emerged out of the fog, faces weary but determined, as they formed a line to inspect their hard work. Mama Nondi arrived, looking more composed than the night before. "Good morning, my dear ones. Let's see how our garden has weathered the storm together." As they approached, gasps echoed among the villagers. While some soil had eroded, revealing roots, the majority of their efforts remained unharmed. Ao's heart raced as they knelt to examine the young plants, feeling the surge of hope coursing through them. "Look, the beans are starting to sprout," Ao exclaimed, a grin spreading across their face. "And the tomatoes, they've survived." "Indeed, resilience is a powerful thing," Mama Nondi remarked, her eyes twinkling with pride. "Just like us." Tund knelt beside Ao, taking a deep breath. "We did it. We protected our garden, just like we protected each other last night." The villagers began to voice their relief, and one by one, smiles broke out. Laughter rang through the air, even amidst the muddy remnants of the storm. Festivity had returned, blooming brightly in the light of a new day. Ao organized the group, their voice steady with purpose. "Let's carefully replant what was washed away. We can adjust our plan for the garden, perhaps add more soil and create better drainage. We can learn from yesterday's storm." Encouraged by Ao's words, the villagers lined up and got to work. With renewed energy, they amended the soil and replanted seeds all around. Children helped to carry water from the nearby well, eager to contribute in whatever ways they could. While lending a hand, Mama Zuri shared her wisdom once again. You see? Just as storms can ravage, they oftentimes prepare the ground for fresh growth. These plants will be stronger for what they have survived. Days turned into weeks as the community garden flourished under a collective effort and care. Ao, Tund, and the other villagers worked tirelessly, nurturing the plants with love while sharing skills and knowledge amidst laughter. More than vegetables grew in the garden, bonds deepened, cultures intertwined, and memories were cultivated in the soil. Iwuro felt alive, thriving with joy. They even began to host gatherings for storytelling and music, celebrating the community spirit that had blossomed from adversity. One evening, the villagers gathered around a table in the garden filled with vibrant produce. Laughter mingled with the aroma of fresh herbs, and hearts glowed with happiness as they shared meals collectively harvested from their labor. Mama Nondi, Tund began, glancing at Ao with gratitude in his eyes. Do you remember the first meeting we had in the square? It feels like we've come so far. How far has our village come? Mama Nondi agreed, her voice ringing with warmth. You all found the strength within yourselves to grow, turning strife into harmony. From dreadful storms to this, the friendship and love seeping into every seed. As they sat together, Ao couldn't help but reflect on how their journey had shaped them all. This garden, it's more than just plants. It's a symbol of our unity and resilience. It's this very strength that will guide us through anything life throws our way. Tund smiled, beaming at Ao. And while we faced storms, we learned the value of community and kindness. We've truly become a family. Under the vast night sky sprinkled with stars, there was a shared understanding. Iwuro was reborn, not merely as a village but as a community fortified through struggle and love. The storms would come again, but with every tempest faced together, they would emerge not just intact but more beautiful and resilient than before. In the heart of the great baobab tree, nurtured by the spirit of unity, the garden flourished, just as their hope promised to do. Ao sighed happily, feeling the warmth within as laughter and joy flowed all around them. Together, they had turned trials into triumphs, fostering connections that would shield them from whatever storms may come in the future. Growing not just their garden, but the very essence of their community, forever intertwined in the beauty of resilience and love.